Hello, everyone. My name is Matthew, also known as Tyrion King, and I'm here with my co-host.
Joshua, and we are here to cover the Entertainment District arc of Demon Slayer, which takes place from chapter 67 through 99 in the manga and episodes 34 through 44 in the anime. Um, so yeah, it's it's been a while since we've done one of these.
It can't have been that long, right?
I think it was like December or so since our last episode on this.
Whoops.
But that's not too big of a
Oh,
deal.
well, this season,
But
I
yeah.
mean, technically, the season only ended a couple weeks ago. Yeah, we're pretty
The
off.
dub, I think the dub ended like mid to late March, I think, or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was April.
No, I
Uh,
just I forgot to bring up that like, oh yeah, the dub finished up, but I forgot.
yeah, that's okay. Well,
That's on
we're
me.
here now. That's all that matters.
Yeah. But anyways, just going into this, just what were your kind of your overall thoughts going into this?
My overall thoughts going into this? What's an interesting question?
Especially coming off of Mugen Train.
Coming on. Oh, my anticipation was high.
Rest in peace. Yeah, rest in peace, my main boy Rengoku.
Rest in peace. Um, why am I struggling to find the words that I want to say? Um, but yeah, I was really excited. Like Mugen Train was really good, and I was really excited to see where the show went next. And I think it met my expectations, if not surpassing them.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of like taking place after the Mugen Train arc, this literally picks up right from the end of it because a little like thing I believe that I think I noted it in the video potentially last time, but if I didn't, but basically this like the Mugen Train anime like adaptation only went up to chapter 66. It didn't include the conclusion 3 chapters basically of the arc. So basically obviously the like this anime adaptation is going to start off by basically covering those, which it basically is the part where Tanjiro, Inosuke, and Zenitsu head back to the Butterfly House to rest up and train, but also where Tanjiro meets Rengoku's younger sibling and his father, learns that what he's been calling Hinokami Kagura is technically called sun breathing. Um, and we get also a bit of conflict between Tanjiro and Rengoku's father.
Yeah,
Um,
who is just the worst, honestly.
well, I mean, he gets better like
He
throughout
does
and
get
whatnot.
better,
Like,
but still does not make him a good. He's not like Endeavor bad.
not really.
No, he's not Endeavor bad,
He's
but he's still really, really not a good father. Like,
yeah, but he's also very much a broken man.
yeah, he is a broken man. You are right.
Like literally, Rengoku's last words made him sober up, but like also he's just like, he's like, what a fool was I to do all this stuff, and now I've lost my son too now.
Yeah, I do kind of feel bad for him.
Yeah, I'm like, like the play, like obviously his broken down part, which definitely gets like touched upon, like in this conclusion part, is that like because his wife died that like it kind of sent him down into like that spiral and whatnot, and just having Rengoku die like pretty much like very much like made him feel distraught, but it's Rengoku's last words I think that kind of bring him back from like what would have been potentially even worse.
Yeah.
But in this like during this time Tanjiro tries to learn more about sun breathing, but unfortunately, to Rengoku's father when he was in that like very much like drunken state, like ripped off the notebook and whatnot, and so sadly, it's very much unreadable. But
Yeah, there's always something. There's always something to keep the plot moving,
yeah,
but it
yeah.
kind of makes sense.
Uh, yeah, it's also interesting to note that that Rengoku's father brings up like the mark on his head when first seeing him, and that's what denotes him to knowing that he knows sun breathing. Um, which we'll see like later on, like how his mark starts reacting in battle and whatnot.
That was really cool to see. I do remember that. That was really cool.
Yeah, because we get a little bit more information on the arc and not the arc, the mark. And how basically basically how a that Tanjiro didn't always have it and it wasn't until after the final selection that it started appearing, but also that his what is it? That his mark starts to react to, like and does well against the demons when facing them.
Yeah.
Um but yeah, other than that, they spend the time our main trio spends the time training. We get to see like I believe this scene might be anime only, but it's a very nice scene of like basically Tanjiro and Nezuko going on like that mission to stop that like grasshopper demon.
Wait, what are you
Um,
talking about? Because I actually
the
do not remember
grasshopper
that at
demon.
all. I don't remember that at all.
It's in the like it's like right at the end of the training arc, like the training montage and whatnot. Like it has Tanjiro going into like this. It's like there's a temple like nearby that was in the rain. It was like right next to this farm, and then the grasshopper demon runs into the farm, and Tanjiro slays it, but then disappears like before like the people who were it like living on that farm realize that he was there.
I can. The idea is somewhat familiar, but I cannot picture it at all in my head. Like I believe that is correct. I just cannot think of it in my head.
Yeah, no, it's all right. I just I I just have a good memory, so
Yeah.
I'm like I remember a lot of small scenes and whatnot. Um, but regardless, so basically after that, like Tanjiro is basically coming back from his mission, and that's when the Tengu masked for like swordsmith is there because Tanjiro broke like lost his blade again.
How does he? I'm surprised that guy hasn't killed him yet.
He wanted to kill him because of
He
that.
has tried. Not for lack of
Yeah, I'm
trying.
like, and it. Yeah, I'm
I'm
like,
just no
not that
more
an
of. I'm
attempt has
surprised he
not been
hasn't
made.
succeeded yet.
Well, I mean, Tundra is just very much more skilled,
Yeah, that is true.
clearly. Um, actually, I forgot to bring this up, but there was a scene actually technically at like the beginning of the episode that was Akaza reporting into Muzan and basically because Akaza had only basically killed just the Hashira and not also the demon, like our main trio alongside it. Like Muzan's like pathetic. You couldn't even do it like kill all the like kill all the demon slayers there or even the humans and whatnot. And Akaza just tries to make an excuse of the sun and whatnot, but it just isn't working for Muzan. And
Yeah, Moon's like I don't want to hear it.
yeah, so and that it's at that point that basically he takes out the sword that Tanjiro put in him and just breaks it into pieces. So technically it's broken at that point, but Tanjiro doesn't know that.
Yeah.
Yeah. But regardless after that, it's they spend I think a little bit more time like training and whatnot and I believe it's like towards
Was
the
that
end
was
that
the point
Tanjiro's
where Muzan was pretending to be a child in some rich folks' house, right?
yes.
What is up with that? Like, is that
I don't know for sure, but I think he's just able to move around bodies,
Oh, but
like
why do the
different
bodies
bodies that
always look
he's
like him? Is
inhabited
that
and
just
whatnot.
so we can understand what's going on?
I think like yeah, yeah.
It's
I
the only
think
reason
it's
I could
very much
think
just
why they would do that.
yeah, yeah. Because otherwise, I'm like I don't know how to exactly explain it, but yeah. Um, so other than that, they train for a little bit more, and then I believe it's once like Tanjiro's getting back again. We see the Hashira for this arc, Tengen, trying to take Aoi
Tengen
and one of
Uzui. Tengen Uzui, that's his name.
yep, trying to take Aoi, like who's like the main like girl, and then like one of the triplets and whatnot. Um, and obviously Tundra is like trying to put a stop to it because
Tanjiro is best boy.
kidnapping ain't right.
Kidnapping ain't
Yeah.
right. Tanjiro knows what's good. Tanjiro knows what's up.
Mm-hmm. Um, but basically, like I do like that when Tanjiro tries to drag him away and whatnot, like the other two little girls are like they're supporting him in the background, but so is Kanae and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but like we also get like a short scene of like Kanae like almost nearly like trying to push herself to go into action and whatnot. Just
I was actually waiting for you to mention that because I really liked that when we got the uh it like showing how she's still like thinks about what why am I struggling to say find the words? See that she's still like taking into
like what Tanjiro did.
yeah what the words Sandro gave her. That's what I'm trying to say. Why was that so hard?
Yeah. No, no, it's all right. No, don't worry. I sometimes am a blundering mess when it comes to trying to phrase like what I'm trying to say as well. But but yeah. So after that, Tengen's like, well, I need three people to come with me for an undercover mission, and that's basically at the point where Tandra's like, I'll do it along with my friends, and then we get Zenitsu and Inosuke coming in from the side and just jumping
That was
down, looking
really
really
cool.
cool.
That was a really cool scene. They just kind of jump out. They just
Yeah.
he's like, "What friends?" and they just appear out of nowhere. That was so cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But it's at that point where Tengen's like, well, all right, you'll do. And basically, um, after putting Aoi down, after doing, I don't know, do you want to describe it or?
He slaps her ass, and it's so weird, and I hate it every time I have to see it. There's a grown man
Yeah,
with
I don't
three
know.
wives slapping a child's ass. What? Why? Was that really
Well, I mean,
necessary?
she's the same age as like the main cast, but
Still does not make it less weird.
not saying it makes it any better, but Uh, yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's like one of those things. I feel like it's just kind of out of character with Tengen for the rest of the arc
Yeah,
and
it
whatnot.
really does not make any sense why he would do that.
Yeah, I'm like, it's one of those things where I'm like, I'm just gonna ignore it because I'm like, it really just doesn't feel like it fits his character
Yeah,
and
like that
whatnot. Like
doesn't
for the rest of his
seem like
arc.
something Tengen would do
Yeah. Um, I feel like it was maybe just like one of those things. Like it was early on and whatnot,
before they had his
and I don't
character
know.
down.
Maybe it was
Maybe
it's either that or maybe it was done to set up just kind of like like a bit of a conflict between the main trio and Tengen and whatnot compared to like Rengoku who like they were accepting of immediately.
that is yeah that's the only thing I could think of for maybe.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like they definitely like I don't know. Tanjiro and Inosuke become pretty like well, Inosuke obviously is pretty easily accepting of him because
It's an Oscar.
yeah, like love him. Man's also an airhead.
Kind of dumb. Yeah,
But like Tanjiro, I think like begins to trust him throughout the mission, and then Zenitsu, I think, still is just begrudgingly
oh,
working
Zenitsu
with
hates
him. But
him.
that's only yeah, but that's mostly due to just
Zenitsu being Zenitsu.
Zenitsu's girl crazy kind of thing and whatnot.
Yeah.
He's very much envious. Um, but basically, Tengen introduces himself obviously as the god of festivals, because he's just that flashy. Um, and I just love that Inosuke responds with I'm the god of the mountains," which is technically actually true. Borders are technically considered in like some like Japanese like mythology to be considered like gods of the mountain, so it actually isn't untrue. It's just that he isn't technically one, but it's more like for the comedy of that.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, other than that, Tenkin also then says like, yeah, our mission is gonna take place in the entertainment district dash its formal name, the red light district. And so basically they're gonna have to go there, and once they get there, they basically learn that they have to go undercover in like each like because there are like three main like houses in like the entertainment district, and they're basically trying to find his three wives because they've been talking about like a demon sighting, well, or not like a demon sighting, but like people going missing, and but like they had gone missing as well recently. So
Yeah.
to which Zenitsu is obviously quite upset because you know he wants a girl for himself
Yeah.
and would have a harem if he was allowed to, but
Yes, he would.
yeah, sadly he's pretty much just putting all his effort into Nesco at the moment. um, but yeah, basically, each of them are able to be put into like houses through different ways. Zenitsu just has to be sold for free practically because, of course, he had to be quite stubborn towards the end.
It's Zenitsu.
But yeah, it is Zenitsu. I I don't know. I have this weird like hate relationship with this character
Yeah,
again. Like
Zenitsu is. I don't know. Because, like, I kind of can see
I don't know.
similarities between
I
Zenitsu
don't.
and Mineta, but, like, Zenitsu's just a better Mineta. Like, he's
Zenitsu
still
is
annoying.
he he's way better than
Yeah,
Mineta
he's
though.
way
Like
better, but, like, they're
he doesn't
both.
do anything like
No, he's not. Yeah,
he like
that.
he's not pervy.
No.
Like he wants a woman, but like not in a
You know,
like a
Zenitsu's
pervy
just an
kind of
incel.
way.
That's what it is. Let's just call it like it is. He's
Yeah,
just an
pretty much.
incel.
Yeah, pretty much. You're right.
When
I
I'm
wasn't
right,
even thinking about putting like I wasn't thinking of putting that label on it, but yeah, no, yeah, that label fits perfectly.
when you right, you right.
Um, but yeah, regardless, so Zenitsu basically makes it into the house under playing the shamisen, which, of course, he can play the shamisen really well because of his like really good hearing, which really helps.
What is a shamisen?
It's like a kind of like old school like Japanese like kind of like Do you know what a sitar is? Like the early version of a guitar.
I vaguely have heard of one, but I cannot think of it off the top of my head.
Well, just think of it like an old time like guitar
So,
type
like,
thing.
the in between of
It's
a
not
lyre
exact.
and a guitar.
Yeah, kind of a bit.
It's the only thing I can think of when
It's
right.
yeah, it honestly like shares some like qualities like similar to like kind of a banjo in a way, but like it's not like exact. It's hard to like give it like an exact comparison. I just to explain it easily, it's kind of like an old time guitar.
All right.
Yeah, but it's still like used nowadays for like whether it be like for like kabuki performances or rakugo performances. So
What's a rakugo?
it's like a spoken theater form. It's where basically a person like kind of just sits down, tells a story, like just using their body, like a fan, a napkin, and their voice.
That's cool.
Yeah, no, it's a very cool art form. I'll maybe show you a video after we finish up
Yeah.
recording. But yeah. So anyways, continuing from there, we have just Tanjiro going around doing chores perfectly in a way quicker amount of time. To which I just love that the gag is like that they're trying to play up being women the entire time, but it's like it's so obvious that they're guys.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, just throughout this, Tanjiro is able to make connections with like the Oiron that is in his house. Um, and so basically it'll be like one of those. It'll kind of like be where it leads to where Tanjiro first faces off against Dabi later on. Um,
Wait, did you say Dobby?
or
Daki.
sorry, Daki. I always
No,
mess
you're good.
like
I
I
was
always
like,
think Dabi, but it's like nope, it's Daki. I'm
no, you're good. I was just
it's like
confused.
it's a one letter difference, and I
Yeah.
always remember it as Dabi for some reason, even though it's Daki.
Yeah,
um,
no. You're good. Just threw me off
yeah.
for a second.
Um, yeah, no, you're good. Inosuke is like the one who's able to like first make tracks on like one of Tengen's wives. But like is unable to reach her just due to there not only being one demon in effect.
Yes.
Um, and then we have Zenitsu who actually runs into Daki first because she was beating up an attendant girl for not being beautiful enough. Um, to which Zenitsu goes in and protects her and
And does the best thing he can do for this arc.
well,
Or is that
I mean
later?
he does also like well, I mean yeah, he is like taken in and put to sleep pretty soon, but also what is it he also gives Daki you dare not insult like this girl while like grasping onto her hand like very tightly and whatnot.
Yeah, doesn't. Yeah, I remember. It's just, like it hurt her pretty bad.
Yeah, no, but basically Daki then knocks Zenitsu out, and that's basically like when he's then taken by the Obi like demon and put into that underground system.
Yeah.
um
I don't know why. I
yeah,
feel like they could have explained that plot point a little better. Is like why it was there, but like I don't know.
well, basically, it's like basically a lesser demon that Daki gave like some of her blood to, I believe. Like, and so like some of her power is basically siphoned away from it to
Yeah.
like give it consciousness and whatnot. But once it's like killed and the power returns to her, that's when she starts having more power and whatnot.
Yeah. That sounds right.
But yeah, so it's then at this point, like basically when things start going awry, that Tengen's like, yeah, you guys can leave for your guys' safety and whatnot, and I'll find my wives on my own. But
Tanja's like, yeah, that's not happening.
yeah, no, Tanjiro and Inosuke devise a plan to like try and find the demon at night. Um, to which Tanjiro just happens to run into them because Daki tries to attack the Oiron of his house because the Oiron of his house was intending to leave soon with a person who had like basically paid to marry her. But I do think like they were actually like in love and whatnot. But it's like you just kind of have to pay for someone to get out of the red light district. It's
Yeah, I do remember them mentioning that.
yeah. Um, and well, Inosuke is able to find the Obi demon because he's able to find them slithering underground and whatnot. So he does the most I think like right up there with Tanjiro's broken finger from later in the arc, the creepiest thing in this arc. Um, and that's basically he dislocates his entire body to like
Oh
wiggle
right.
underground like a worm.
Yeah. I. This show does. This arc has a lot of weird body things with Inosuke.
Yeah, no, like while I like believe it, I'm just also the sound of him like dislocating his entire body, while technically accurate, just physically hurt me to
Yeah,
hear.
I don't think if you dislocate everything in your body, you can slither around like a snake through tight holes. I don't think that's how that works.
Oh, definitely not. It's more of an exaggeration
I'm calling
for
anime
like
shenanigans
just
on this one.
anime and manga shenanigans, but I do believe Inosuke would be the type of person to kind of do that sort of
Oh,
stuff.
absolutely. I definitely think that's right up Inosuke's alley of the weird shit that he does.
I'm like, I don't feel it's out of character, and as long as it's not out of character, it doesn't particularly bother me.
No.
That's why like that Tengen scene from earlier like bothered me a bit, and I'm just like
Yeah, because
just
that
wanting to forget about it because like it just doesn't feel in
yeah, I
character
don't
for
know
him.
what that was. That felt so forced. I don't know.
Yeah, but otherwise, but yeah. So and this is basically where the fighting starts, where we have Inosuke going up against like the Obi demon at the moment, and Tanjiro trying to hold off Daki, who's lower six and whatnot. So he's like very much taking this fight seriously. Um,
They were low. I thought they were
well,
upper
at this,
six.
oh, upper six. Sorry, I gosh,
No,
my
you're
terms
good.
are all sort of out of whack.
No, you're good. I'm just glad I caught that.
Yeah, no, no. I probably would have corrected myself, but it wouldn't have been till later.
Yeah,
Um,
you're good.
regardless, at the same time, Tenjin was finally able to find one of his wives, like, and she was tied up and far, like, put in like the back streets of the town and whatnot, because she basically knew everything and was like poisoned basically to just kind of die out slowly. Um, but like once Tengen finds her and like learns of the situation, we finally get to see like a sound breeding in like effect to track the Obi demon, and it's pretty cool. And also I just like that he's like able to slam down and what like just slams all the way down to get to the Obi demon. Um, and this is like at the like he gets down there at the point where Inosuke had saved like Zenitsu and Tengen's other two wives. Um, and so basically at this point, what is it? Tengen basically just dispatches of the Obi demon, and I just wanted to get this out of the way before we jump back to like the Tundra versus Daki fight. But just what did you think of like the Obi demon part as a whole?
I, I feel like it was underdeveloped and kind of confusing. Like, is was she always the scarf? And like, I don't know. I feel like if they had done more time explaining I don't know. It didn't really feel like it needed to be there. It feels like it was just a way to separate the cast for a while.
Um, yeah, story wise, most likely. To which, yeah, I think part of it is just because like the mystery was being built around it, but like I don't know if it was
Like,
just like the author didn't like if the author didn't know how to write a satisfying conclusion for the way of them like explaining the person behind the mystery or whatnot. But it's like
I
because like
feel like
I
that's
do
the answer. It's just it sucks that that's the answer.
yeah, because I'm like I feel like they tried to like I think there was like one line that acknowledged it, but like it's like one of those lines where it's like
Blink and you'll
while it
miss it.
acknowledges it, what?
It's like one of those blink and you'll miss it lines.
Well, not only that, but like even if you do catch it, it's like okay, but it could be elaborated a bit more on this, please.
Yeah.
Um, to which I'm like, it's fine. It's a minor antagonist, and to me, it's not too big of a deal. I will say it. I agree with you in that it is a bit jarring, but like it isn't like a make or break deal for me.
No. No, definitely not. No, I was just confused why it needed to be there.
Yeah, no, I It's definitely, I think, just also because like the way that Daki works, it's like it'd be impossible for her to hold. I think all of that if it was just basically the six robes that are on her body at any given time.
Yeah, but like, was she a part of those six robes or what?
Um, it seems like she's able to go like it uses Daki's power, but like also it's its own like because like it's able to go back into Daki, but like it had to be separated in the first place, and that separation part I'm just like not too sure on.
All right, so we're unclear whether or not the second demon was actually a part of her main robes.
Yeah,
All right.
but so getting back to the Tanjiro and Daki fight, basically Tanjiro is able to kind of like hold his own with water breathing for a little bit, but it's like starting to chip at his blade and whatnot, and it's like at this point where he's like kind of realizing like, yeah, I'm not technically fully suited for water breathing. Sun breathing is like where I'm just gonna call it sun breathing just so I don't have to say Hino Kamikagura just
Oh, does
to
he not know
state the
the word
record.
for sun breathing yet?
He knows it's called sun breathing,
He just
still
doesn't
calls
call
it
it.
Hino Kamikagura
That
still.
is kind of annoying.
Yeah. I'm just gonna call it sun breathing for the sake of not having to say the full name. Not that it isn't a cool name. I just it's
No,
a mouthful
I
as
don't
well.
blame you. That would be really annoying. I'd get really tired of that real quick.
Yeah. So basically, he switches over to trying to use some breathing techniques, but obviously he knows it comes like with a big risk because we see like a bit of a flashback to his training and whatnot, where it's like not only like is his body barely able to withstand using two of those attacks at the moment, but he also like it puts him into a feverish state like if he uses it too much, but even at that point like it also kind of helps in a way
That
because like
does make sense. Why the Hinokami Kagura would put him in a heat fever state.
yeah.
It's literally channeling the sun.
um
Yeah, I like when they have powers with drawbacks. I think that's a really good. That's a really good piece of
yeah,
media.
no, it's definitely like something that's taking Tanjiro a long time to master, which I think is good because like something like this, especially considering that we know that sun breathing is the basis for all breathing.
Did we know that?
um yeah, no, it's
As
stated
I
in
know I learned
Mugen
that by
Train.
looking it up. I wasn't sure if we had seen that in the anime.
It was stated in the Mugen Train movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, no, because Rengoku says, yeah, it like all breathing things came from sun breathing, and that's how we have like, and it breaks down into like these five main elemental
Isn't there also a
categories,
moon
basically.
breathing? Never mind. We'll probably hit that later.
I have no clue, so I could not tell you.
All right.
Um, but yeah, regardless, so Tanjiro tries to switch over to that, which like he's able to like nearly get Daki, but it's like at that point that her OB powers return to her, and she's able to get a lot stronger. And he's able to like barely block her attack and has to do like recovery breathing in order to be able to just kind of stand up and
When did he
whatnot.
learn recovery breathing?
I think it's more of just like it's called recovery breathing, but it's literally just called let me take a deep breath for a sec.
Yeah, no, but like when did he learn that?
I think it's just a basic concentration breathing technique.
All right, I just couldn't. It was the first time I remember him using it. I wasn't sure if it was like I was forgetting something from a training arc or what.
Yeah. No, I mean, if anything, it could potentially be seen as an extension, as like the whole like calming like your blood flow and whatnot from the end of the Mugen Train arc, but
Yeah.
that's a bit of a stretch. Regardless, so once Daki does that, she starts releasing like her full power, and basically like her obis are able to slash down like an entire row of houses and whatnot, and man, does her power start getting pretty devastating at this point.
Yeah, it gets
Um,
pretty bad.
yeah, like, and so Tanjiro is like able to like kind of go back in again with like his sun breathing techniques and whatnot, and it's at this point like that his mark starts to like kind of glow up, and like it's at this point that we get like the whole Rengoku's father sending him a letter mentioning it, and we like how Tanjiro didn't always have the mark and whatnot, but basically he's able to go in, but he forgets to breathe because he's so focused on the battle.
How
But
does that work? Like, I didn't think that was weird until just now. Like, how do you like? You don't remember to breathe. That's just a natural thing your body does.
well, I think it's more of like concentration breathing. Like requires a lot more focus on it, hence the name concentration.
I guess it's
Especially when it comes to like, especially when it comes to like do his sun breathing techniques. It requires his breathing to be very specific and whatnot.
I guess.
Also, I do. It also is just I do kind of like it in a way because like we literally have like a standstill frame practically where like Tandra's like trying to think how to dodge Daki's attack of the Obi and whatnot, but like if you were to do that in real life, like things wouldn't stop moving and whatnot. So
No. Yeah. It
I do think it's
works.
also kind of just a play on like, oh yeah, I'm thinking in anime minutes logic here, but actually it has a repercussion because it's taking place in real time.
I still like the joke that that when Frieza said 5 minutes, he just had a concussion.
I mean, in the manga, it's way better, but yeah, the anime extends that 5 minutes to a good, I think, like 19 episodes or so. Which, just to put on average, is around like, what, like 400 minutes? Yeah.
Jeez.
Regardless, it's at this point that Tundra is kind of out of the battle for a little bit because we get Nezuko coming out and she gets enraged. Um,
Yeah, that was really interesting. I actually was
yeah,
that
so like,
actually got me on like the edge of my seat, like what's gonna happen? Because this throughout the whole show, we've had this safety net of Yuro Kadaki doing the some what did he call it, mind control, or he hypnotized her or whatever.
hip, yeah, yeah, putting in that hypnotic suggestion and whatnot, but like, Nezuko kind of snaps here and whatnot, and
Yeah, it's just we've always
like
had
she
that safety
grows.
net, so when that safety net's gone, it's like, oh, what's actually about to happen?
Yeah, because she kind of snaps and she gets like I'm not entirely sure what it's supposed to mean, but she gets like this kind of like leaf flower type pattern like across her body and whatnot.
Oh, good. I was actually gonna ask you on that, so that kind of sucks that you don't know.
Yeah, I don't think it like nothing is explained about Nezuko's like powers per se,
That is true.
like other than like that we know that her regenerative powers like through this fight are on the power like the same level as Muzan's, which is insane.
Yeah, no kidding.
Um, Also, that like there's like one point where like her entire body gets cut apart, but she holds it together with like like her blood because like she's able to manipulate blood through like her explosion technique and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, no, it's honestly it's a I don't know how to say more than like it's a very gruesome fight with
Oh,
like Nezuko
yeah.
just like very much like going like all out, like ripping through Daki's face and whatnot, and like those scar marks like last for a little while too. So like you get to see like the entire
Yeah.
thing of it and whatnot.
Nezuko is the scariest member of this group. Like, if you didn't think that
At least
before,
when
that
she's
was
enraged, like
terrifying. That was terrifying to watch.
yeah. Um, but basically Tanjiro has to kind of stop her because she's like. It's like at this point, like where Daki's kind of gone through a whole bunch of buildings, so like a lot of people are injured and there's a lot of human blood around. Um,
Yeah, Nezuko's
so
mighty hungry.
yeah, and since basically there's nothing really holding her back right now, she would do it. But Tanjiro is able to like kind of bring her back through Tengen basically coming in with the save and basically being like, go sing her a lullaby or something. Um,
Man, I love how even when he's just messing around, he still saves the day.
yeah. No, Tengen like literally epitomizes his word of living his life flashily.
Also, Tengen is
Um,
such a good man for not report because he definitely did not report on the fact that Nezuko went wild. Because if he would have, he would have probably been forced to kill her. So let's give it up for
yeah,
Tengen for not snitching on the fact that Nezuko went crazy.
yeah.
I don't think Tengen wants to be a part of that whole I don't think Tengen ever wanted to kill Nezuko.
No, well, maybe at the beginning, but like,
I don't
I
think he
think
like
he
after
accepted
yeah
the.
after he accepted her. I don't think he wanted to have to be responsible for that.
Yeah, I'm like, I think he accepted it through Rokadaki's words and whatnot, but like, once he's like, kind of like, saw that, like, in action, she's like, at least when she's normal, she's not like problematic or anything. I think like he's just like, yeah, she's fine with me, kid.
Yeah,
um, but yeah, so basically, Tanjiro is able to remember a lullaby that their mother used to sing him, and is able to do that to bring Nezuko back to her senses, and she falls back asleep.
it's just so sad that every time Tandra's on the brink of death or like something bad's about to happen, he always just has flashbacks or visions to his family. Which honestly, at this point, I'm starting to think he's just seeing into the afterlife and talking with them.
Well, I mean, we've kind of had that sense that that is kind of the case through other scenes before, but
And you know they're never going to
yeah,
explain that. As much as I would like them to
nope,
explain why he's able to do that, they're never going to.
yeah. No, the afterlife is only touched upon very, very much briefly in this show.
Yeah.
At least at the moment where we're at, I should say. But because I don't know if they do expand on it in the future or not. But regardless, after this, basically, because at like I think at the same point, Tengen's like already technically cut off Daki's head because he's like, you're way too weak to be an upper demon. Because yeah, just Daki's head comes like straight off like once he came through there, and it's where Daki starts having a crying fit, but she's not disappearing yet, which is a bit odd. Um,
Yeah. This the Japanese audio
and
for that
that's
became a very popular TikTok audio. I didn't realize it was Demon
wait
Slayer until I started.
wait
Yeah, just her screaming Oni-chan
which
became a
Japanese?
when she starts screaming like for her brother to save her, that became a very popular audio.
Huh, I did not know that.
Yeah.
Interesting to know. Regardless, it's at this point that the main threat out of the two siblings comes out. Gyutaro with his very decrepit body and poison sickles, which actually are pretty cool. But
They are really cool.
yeah. And so this is where the fight really starts kicking into high gear. Um, and so basically, the way that it kind of splits off, it's at this point, it's Tanjiro and Tengen versus Gyutaro and um what Zenitsu and Inosuke versus Daki. And it's like prior to this, like in a little scuffle that Tengen had with the two of them, that he learned that basically they both need to be decapitated at the same time, and that Gyutaro is like has poison, like poisonous sickles, to which he says, yeah, they don't have an effect on me. it's it's
I'm a
somewhat true in that
shinobi. They can't affect me.
they don't quite have an effect on him. It's just more of that he's somewhat immune to poison, so it takes longer for the poison to go through him.
Yeah, it still affects him. It's just not as quickly as they probably would like it to.
Yeah, I'm while we while we get some of Tengen's flashback stuff intermittently throughout this battle, I think I'm gonna save like all of Tengen's flashback towards the end of the battle, just so I can group it all together in one and whatnot. Because I'm just like separating it out just feels kind of odd. I think.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
But anyways, so continuing on with the battle, basically one of in like a planned thing, one of Tengen like the one of one of Tengen's wives that was like in the back streets of the town and whatnot has come with like like poison, not
Oh,
poison,
oh, oh, Maki, right? The one with the blonde streak.
no, 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 it's I forget her name, but she's the one that that's like looks more like Tanjiro and whatnot.
Is it the one that's always? Is it the one that's always crying, or the one in purple?
The one in like the pinkish purple one.
I cannot remember her name off the top of my head.
She has black hair.
I know. Yeah, I can. I know who you're talking about. I just cannot remember the character's name.
I can't remember them either. I'm literally just referring to the
Yeah,
wife's name. Hold on, I could probably see it. Makio Suma Hinatsuru. I think it's
I think it's
Hinatsuru, I
Hinatsuru.
believe.
Yeah, it's definitely
Yeah, it's
Hinatsuru.
Hinatsuru. Yeah. Um, so Hinatsuru basically pulls up with like these like wisteria poisoned kunai to like try and paralyze Gyutaro so that Tengen can be able to get in a hit on him. Um, to which it kind of works, but he also has to take a kunai himself as well. But like, sadly, they didn't have enough time because Gyutaro it blocks not only both the Tengen swords, but also not San Tanjiro's sword by twisting his head around and catching it.
With his teeth, man. Gyutaro is just.
Yeah,
I would not want to be Tanjiro in this fight. I would. That would just suck.
yeah. I I'd say more about Zenitsu and Inosuke going up against Daki, but really it's
There really
just
is not
they're
much to
having a
talk
hard
about.
time cutting through it. They just have a hard time cutting through her neck because it's loose because of the OB ability and whatnot.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, so eventually, basically, I forget like what happens to have it be that that Tanjiro, I think what was it like that Tanjiro had to go over with Zenitsu and Inosuke and they all teamed up on Daki.
I think Tengen sent him over there for some reason. Oh no, he sent him over there to protect his wife because he thought he noticed his wife, and he told Tanjiro to go protect his wife. I think.
Yeah,
I think that's how it went.
I think so. Yeah, or something like that.
Yeah, because I
It was
remember
to do
he
that and
because there was a
basically
whole like Daki was in the middle of attacking the wife, and Tanjiro was like trying to rush over to save her.
or
But
like getting or like she was getting pretty close to doing it, but
yeah, but like
yeah,
he was
Tanjiro
having
got in at the right time.
yeah, he was like one of those where it's about to hit her, and then he just appears out of nowhere.
Yeah, there is it. I will say what's very nice about this fight is that like very much like both the fights are happening like in the same area and are affecting each other and whatnot.
Yeah, they did a really good job at
Because
keeping the fight
like more often than
moving.
not, when you technically have like a 2-on-2, it more ends up being like a 1-on-1, but in the same area,
Yeah.
like two 1-on-1s, but in the same area. It's definitely not the case with this
No,
fight.
they did a really good job at keeping fight organized and yeah.
Yeah, no, it very much like keeps you on your feet. But yeah, just going through it, basically they're able to get off Daki's head for a little bit through Zenitsu and Tanjiro acting as bait for the Obi for Inosuke to be able to get in and get the head. But it's at this point that like Daki basically comes back over and just takes out Inosuke for a little bit. Um, and basically I believe after that it's what is it like like a building gets crushed. Like Tengen is found with his hand missing because that's how Gyutaro got over there to stab Inosuke.
Oh, wait, we jumped
Uh,
that. Oh, we jumped. Sorry. I spaced out for a minute. Yeah, all right, now I'm putting the pieces together. So Tanjiro got over there. Yep. And then they came up with the plan to cut off her head because Inosuke had to do it because he's the only one with the swords that could do it. And then they got the head off. They played keep away for a while, and then uh, Inosuke got stabbed by Gyutaro, whatever his name is,
Gyutaro.
Gyutaro, um, and yeah, and then um, Tengen was missing a hand and on the ground. With the poison had kicked in, then Gyutaro got over there.
Yeah, that too.
Yeah, the poison finally took over, and Gyutaro took off his hand and got over
Was
there.
starting to take a hold. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
What happened to
I
Zenitsu?
think Daki basically. I think once Daki gets her head reattached, she breaks a building on top of Zenitsu, and then
Yeah, that's
Tanjiro
right.
is the only one who's safe because Zenitsu pushes Tanjiro out of the way.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. And then Tanjiro wakes up to the town leveled. It's just gone now. There's no town anymore.
No, the town isn't leveled at this point. It's still just it's on fire though. Like
You're
everywhere's on
you're right.
fire.
You're right.
Um,
Everything is on fire. It's still I think we forgot to mention that the wives had been tasked with evacuating the town, and that's what they've been doing during the fight.
yeah, it's a small thing. It's
It's a small thing, but that way we don't have to feel bad about the whole town being on fire. They're already out of there.
yeah, yeah. Um, but basically at this point, Gyutaro is like, I kind of feel bad for you. You're just on your own. You you got lucky enough to survive, but
That is a
that does
really good Gyutaro impression. Like that was really good.
that doesn't mean much if you're gonna die here pretty soon.
Yeah,
But yeah, um,
it is weird that
to which Gyutaro basically
his voice actor also voices Sir Night. He just likes green characters apparently.
green hair characters with kind of skinny body types.
Mm-hmm.
Um, your words, not mine.
Oh, is that what I said? That's probably what I
Yes.
said. Yeah, that
Yeah,
sounds
that
like
is what you directly said when we were watching this together.
that is fair.
Um, yeah, no, it's just basically then at, like, basically he offers Tanjiro to become, like, a demon and whatnot, but Tanjiro then, well, oh, is it? Yeah, no, like, he breaks Tanjiro's finger while talking to him, and he has that broken finger for the rest of this fight, and
I
I just,
hate that broken finger.
yeah, I'm like, ugh, it's just that it's discolored. If it wasn't discolored, I don't think I'd have a problem with it. I'm like, literally
I'm
for
realizing
those.
now that My Hero thing when even when Deku breaks his fingers in My Hero, it's not that bad.
Yeah, no, like his skin, like in My Hero, the skin looks more like charred and whatnot. In this, it just literally looks like it's like the bone is dead. Like,
Yeah. Because it was flopping around. Oh, I hated how much it flopped around. It looks like the bone just disintegrated.
yeah, no, I mean, I know with probably that much force, it probably was like broken pretty good, but gosh, like, and I get like swelling happens when that sort of thing happens, and like it can get bruised as well. But I'm like, gosh, if it was just pale toned, I think I wouldn't have a problem like looking at it.
Yeah.
I'm like, I just like my eyes like were physically revolting whenever I saw that broken finger. Like
Uh,
nothing against it, like it does the point, but like,
no, I
oh
mean
gosh,
that's how you know they animated it well because it was that bad. We didn't want to look at it. Like
yeah,
fantastic job editing.
yeah, no,
I never want to see that again.
yeah, no thanks. I'm like, I will hard pass on ever seeing that broken finger again. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, so basically, while Tanjiro's running away, he's like, Gyutaro's starting to chase after him to catch up, but like, Tanjiro's throwing things at him, which, you think, like, Gyutaro thinks it's just a desperation attack and whatnot, but is actually a secret plan for Tanjiro to throw one of the paralysis daggers into him to try and land one last strike on him.
Wow.
Oh,
Feels very
yeah.
similar to the Uraraka Bakugo fight from My Hero. Why am I just relating everything to My Hero? I watch more shows than that.
I don't know, maybe just because the fights, like, there have just been similar situations in each show.
Yeah, that's fair.
Um, but yeah, no, it's at this point though that like Zenitsu Zenitsu is able to like kind of get back up, and same with Tengen. Tengen basically tries to come in and help Tanjiro out with trying to finish him off while the poison starts, and Zenitsu goes into his lightning breathing godlike speed, which is
So
his
cool.
strongest.
I love it's always so well animated. I think the thunder breathe lightning
Yeah, no,
breathing
no, it's
is one of the best animated.
yeah, no, it's really well animated, and this is also Zenitsu's strongest technique, so of course it looks like really really good. Um, at least like at the moment, I don't know if he gets anything stronger, but I think I've heard like godlike speed is practically like his best move.
How could you go
Um,
above godlike speed?
I don't know, godlike speed times two.
Godlike speed Kaioken times two.
Exactly.
All
Um,
right.
no, but um, yeah. So basically Zenitsu is starting to like chip away at Daki, but like um basically Tengen is basically putting in like the fight of his life while only controlling the blade, like his two-bladed weapon with one hand. Very impressively, might I add you.
Yeah, because
Um
he's using his teeth. It was something pretty impressive.
yeah, no, Tengen like literally puts his all into this fight. Um and just basically after like seeing some amazing shots, Tengen finally gets in shot to like finally put to be able to get Gyutaro in a spot to start cutting into him. And Tanjiro starts doing it at the same time. Zenitsu's been getting a bit into Daki, and then Inosuke comes in to help him out, and they finish him off at the same time.
Yeah.
And man, was it a scream fest at the end.
Yeah, but it was still cool. I
Oh, it
still
was
love
definitely earned. It was
Zenitsu's.
definitely earned.
I still have Inosuke's reason for how he's fine. I can just move my organs around, cause that makes sense.
I'm like, I mean, he had to live in the mountains long enough. I'm like, you don't know what he encountered up there.
You're right. It still does not make sense.
Yeah, I'm just like, just suspend your disbelief.
Oh, I'm suspending it. All right.
um, but yeah, and so basically, that's what we think is the end of the battle until Tengen's like, because Tanjiro is like practically all wiped out, but like, you know, he can
Tanjiro's
barely heal,
borderline
but
deaf at this point. What caused that? Or it was just him passing out, wasn't it?
it's more, yeah, it was him passing out basically because he had used the sun
Way too
breathing
much sun
technique to
breathing.
try and yeah. Um, but Tengen's like, we have to run because basically Gyutaro has like a practically a self destruct move
What does
when
that
he
have? What
dies.
does that have to do anything with poison?
I think it said that basically it's like it was like his scythes technique, but like in a large dome type area, basically. But
Oh
it's at
yeah, it
this
is.
point
No,
that
you're right. It is. 'Cause I remember. I forgot that he could do this cyclones with his scythe.
yeah. Um, but regardless, it levels the town basically.
Yeah, this is when the town goes bye
And
bye.
yeah, and lead to the biggest cliffhanger ever if you were watching week to week,
I would have been so
because literally
pissed if you had made me watch
yeah,
that
it
week to
literally
week.
shows the town leveled, the dust just like kind of settling there, and that's when you start credits.
I would not have been happy with you if you made me watch that week to week.
Yeah, no, this is why I do week to week, and I don't force you to do it.
You give me
Because
a
I'm
good you
like,
gave us a good sacrifice.
I'll deal with all the BS cliffhangers in the world. I'm like, you just enjoy the experience. um, but yeah, no, and so now that the fight's over, and before we get into like the conclusion thing, I'm gonna go back and tackle Tengen just throughout this fight and whatnot, because this battle very much like we see basically everything of like what defines Tengen, what his goals are, and how he like thinks he compares and whatnot.
Yeah.
So just kind of going like starting off with it because the first flashback basically is kind of like is from like both like just from like the understanding of his wife and him. It's that basically what he prioritizes is like not only trying to live the best life that he can for his dead siblings due to like their shinobi training and going into battle as shinobi, but also his wives because like he wants to live it up enough for all of them. And it puts it like it puts very much in perspective like that his order of protection are his wives, the people, and then himself. He puts himself last, which I don't know. It's a very simple thing, but I still find it nonetheless all the more admirable.
Yeah. No, I like it.
Um, the second thing when it comes down to it, is just like the what is it? Like his goal, which was just being able, like if he was able to kill like one of the Kizuki, he was gonna like one of the upper ranked Kizuki. Basically, he was gonna call it quits. Because like he's just like that's my goal, because that will prove that I've like done enough to live like of like a full flashy life and whatnot. And so basically, obviously, he achieves that goal within this fight. I mean, at the loss of his arm, but I mean, at least
Didn't he also
it's
lose a leg? Or no, he lost an
no,
eye.
just no. He didn't lose an eye either. Just his arm.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he lost his eye at the end.
No, his eye's just shut. I'm pretty sure.
All right, I'm gonna look that up later.
Yeah.
Again,
No.
not saying I don't believe you. I'm just wanting to fact check.
Yeah. But regardless, and then we finally have just how he like feels like as a Hashira and whatnot, and that like he isn't a skilled like he isn't like skilled in breathing techniques and whatnot. Like he very much had to train very hard to get to where he is, and not that like Rengoku didn't either, but like he doesn't feel like he's like Rengoku. I think had like some natural talent when it came down to it, and he feels like he isn't like Rengoku. He isn't like that bright type of person who can save everyone type of person like Rengoku.
Yeah, but
Like he's trying to save as many as he can, but like
it's
he
kind of hard to
obviously
live up
knows.
to Rengoku.
Yeah, but he also just feels like he knows like where his limits lie and whatnot.
Yeah,
Which I don't know, like all three of those combined, it's just what like definitely grows like your adoration through like Tengen throughout this fight and whatnot, especially when he's putting it all out there at the end to take down Gyutaro.
yeah. Which still makes just the way he acted at the beginning of this arc so confusing.
Exactly my point. Yeah, but regardless, so now in the aftermath, basically, Tanjiro wakes up to Nezuko basically, and like since Tanjiro is like so weak he can barely move, we get like the Nezuko jockey basically, which is very cute.
It's
Just
always
Tanjiro,
cute to see that.
yeah, Tanjiro riding on top of Nezuko, and like Nezuko goes around and her blood like her blood explosion type thing is like basically able to burn away the poison. So she does that to Inosuke. They save Zenitsu, and then they also do it to Tengen. And basically, practically, that's where it ends for the heroes. And that basically a report of like an upper demon has been defeated, and that elates the head of the Demon Slayer Corps.
I
While
wouldn't
it,
say that's the end for the heroes because you're kind of forgetting something big.
what am I forgetting?
That when that the snake guy shows up and what Tengen says to him.
Oh, that's just basically.
Well, that's still an
Oh well,
important
that's
thing for the
just
heroes.
basically. Well, it's just that he was coming in to like support, but like everything was already wrapped up by the
That's
time he
not what I'm
got there.
talking about. I'm talking about how when Tengen says, "Yeah, I'm done. I'm quitting." He's like, "You can't quit. What are you talking about? We need you. You cannot quit on us. We need a Hashira." And he's like, "I know someone who will fit in."
Oh yeah, no, him basically saying that Tanjiro, Zetsu, and Inosuke are like worthy to be trained for that. Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's kind of a big thing.
Yeah, that at least looking at arc names won't exactly be important for a little while.
That's okay. I just still wanted to make sure we covered it.
Fair enough. But yeah, other than that, it just kind of we get the Demon Slayer core head being glad that one of them is down and that like he feels that Muzan will be brought down within his lifetime, even if he is like very sickly and
And
whatnot
he's
right now.
getting worse.
Yeah, no, we see that it's worse because like the basically the decay that he had just on his upper face had like started extending down to his neck and a bit on his arms and whatnot.
I wonder if we'll ever get an
Um,
explanation as to what caused that. I
I
have a
feel
feeling
we
it has
have to
something.
because it's
I feel like it has something to do with Muzan.
oh, it very much probably has to do because like otherwise, why else would the Slayer Core exist? But yeah, but it also ends on basically the higher, like the upper ranked demons being summoned. In that it's they're like, oh, one of us has been killed. Oh, shoot, I nearly forgot about Daki and Gyutaro's
Oh,
backstory.
and their argument, which was really sad. Their whole
Yeah, no, they
ending death was really sad and really well done.
yeah, no, yeah, no, it's like they started arguing because like they lost and whatnot, and so like they're pretty upset about it.
They say some really
But we
hurtful
get
stuff. Like, like I
yeah,
get
no,
it.
no, because
Like
like
in
they're
the heat of
lashing out
moment,
at
you
each
can say it
other.
a lot of bad stuff, but like, ouch, that hurt.
Yeah, no, yeah, but like once we get like the flashback through Gyutaro, oh shoot, I need to. What's Daki's real name?
I forget we get their real names sometimes.
Let me pull that up. Ume, that's what it was.
Yeah, Ume.
Um,
What was
yeah, it basically starts with like Yutaro thinking like Daki, that isn't your name. What a disgusting name. Like, why did I ever call you that? It's Ume, and he goes like through this recollection of like how basically he used to be like this very much rejected kid due to like his because even as a human he still had like that scrawny figure that was like
and
practically
the scars?
yeah and yeah, not to mention that like his mother had tried to off him a few times just because like living in the outskirts of the entertainment district is just not good.
Yeah, not the
um
place to be.
yeah, but basically he felt like his life got better once Ume was born because I think just like that sense of like being an older brother and protecting Ume and whatnot, like, and teaching her, even if it was technically like the wrong values that led to Ume's like stabbing out the eye of one of her customers, like it was all because they grew up in like the outskirts and were trying hard to survive and whatnot.
Yeah,
Yeah, but like basically not Daki, Gyutaro goes through all this and he's like, man, maybe if it wasn't for me, maybe you would have turned out better. Um, and so basically after that they're fully disintegrated and whatnot, and like they're in this afterlife area, and like basically Ume's in like this light area where like basically she can go on to like basically what I would assume be like the better half of the afterlife compared to Gyutaro, who's like placed on the darker side towards like the wall of flames that I
which
assume represent like a
really
hell.
doesn't make that much sense because Daki was the one that did everything. Really, Kyushiro just kind of lived in her body. He never. I don't think he really killed that many people. It was mostly just Daki that killed everyone.
Yeah, but I don't think it was really her choice to be turned into a demon. That
No,
was more of on Gyutaro.
yeah,
And I think out of the two, I think the collective like share of the burden is all on Gyutaro, I
oh, I know.
think,
I think
for
that's
at least
definitely
in
what they were
taking
going for. It's
place.
just like,
Yeah. No,
uh,
or, like no, I definitely get what you're saying. I think just like at least from what like the story's trying to like portray, I think it's that like basically Gyutaro's actions are what caused it to go down like all this wrong path and whatnot.
yeah,
But yeah, basically Gyutaro's like trying to distance himself from Ume because like he doesn't want her, he wants her to live a better life away from him, but Ume just like she love she loves her brother regardless, and they they go together down into hell. It's very much a touching scene,
it.
much like akin to how Rui and his family, like his family are like, yeah, we'll all go to hell together.
I really do think the one thing they did, one of the many things the show does amazingly well is having tasteful deaths and really touching on like family and the afterlife. And yeah, I really think the show does an amazing
Yeah.
job with being philosophical.
Mm-hmm. No, like each of these deaths, like and like the backstories for like the like at least when we do get like backstories for the demons and whatnot, I've always like at least for the most part, I've always been shown to like give like this kind of like humanistic edge to what have been otherwise like what we've seen like basically just monsters.
Yeah, I really like that we get explanations for why they're bad, not they're bad for badness sake.
Yeah, no, like it's not that you can't have villains like that. Like I think I mean, like the lower rank one is like literally just evil for evil's sake,
Which one
but
was lower rank one? That was the
it's
train one.
yeah,
Yeah, we never got a
but
backstory for
they
that
were
one,
fun to
but
take down. Just but I don't think we need to because they were doing some like really screwed up stuff that you just wanted to see Tanjiro get the victory in for and
yeah,
whatnot.
there was no redemption for that character.
Yeah, but regardless, I think that about covers it for the entertainment district arc. We'll have the Swordsmith Village arc coming out in the next year or so, I imagine.
I think it's the end of. I think it's fall this year.
No, there's been no confirmed date.
Really, I thought I saw something that it had been confirmed.
I'll check again, but I don't think I've seen like a confirmation date. Let's see. Um, yeah, no, there's still no like announced release date yet. But yeah,
Yeah.
otherwise, that about does it for our coverage for the entertainment district arc. Any just closing thoughts on this arc?
This show just is did it again with how amazing they this show is just really really good, and I'm glad you got me to watch it finally. Because like I tried it once
Yeah, no,
and I
I've
couldn't get past the first episode, but I'm glad once I sat down and actually tried it, it was so much better than I thought it was going to be. Like I knew
yeah,
everyone
no,
liked it, and I
I'm
just
glad that
didn't want to get into it because I don't know. But it's so good. Like
yeah, no, no,
if you are still thinking of if you haven't seen it yet for whatever reason and you're still watching this, definitely go see it. Like it is such a good show.
yeah, no, I'm glad I was able to get you into like some of these shows just
Yeah, I
because
think
I
that's my favorite part of this podcast is just you finally getting me to watch the shows that I never really was gonna watch.
yeah, and not only that, we just get to talk about it, which is
Yeah.
like one of the things that I just don't get to do often because like I've watched so many shows, but I have like no one to talk about it, so
Plus,
gives me like
having to do podcasts actually makes me kind of forces me to pay attention. So I think
yeah.
I see a lot more when I watch for the podcast than I see when I'm watching it for myself.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But regardless, I definitely think we'll end it there. We'll definitely be back whenever the Swordsmith Village arc wraps up. Um, so until then, feel free to check out any of our other content if you are interested, and feel free to do all the stuff that everyone asks to do if you want. And thanks so much for watching.
Yeah.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.